Today in our 2012 Mercedes Sprinter 3500, we're going to be installing Roadmaster's Rear Anti-Sway Bar, part number RM-1209-131. This rear auxiliary sway bar is going to help prevent sway when going down the road. This is going to be particularly useful when driving in uneven terrain, while parking your RV, or hitting any potholes. It'll help keep that body roll from going back and forth and bring it back to straight much quicker. It'll also help improve the handling and lower driver fatigue, as it won't be swerving back and forth as much on an uneven road. And as you can see here, our auxiliary sway bar is considerably larger and more heavy duty than our factory sway bar. And while the sway bar doesn't replace your factory original, it works in conjunction with it, as it's installed on the other side of the axle. It features long-lasting polyurethane bushings. It comes with all the hardware you need to get it installed, and there's only minimal drilling required. It's going to mount in front of your axle. We'll show you how to do that now. We'll begin our installation under our motorhome in front of the rear axle on our driver's side. We're going to be removing the two nuts that hold on your U-bolt there. Now, in order to get underneath, you are going to need to lift up the vehicle. You can use a hydraulic jack to do so. We'll loosen these using a 19mm socket. We'll then remove the U-bolt. We'll repeat that same process on the other side. We'll now take the new U-bolt provided in the kit, place it back where we removed the U-bolt that we just took out. We'll then take the bracket labeled for the left-hand side, as we are on our driver's side. We're going to place it on our U-bolt, and using the existing hardware that we removed and the same nuts, we'll thread it on and tighten it down using the same 18mm socket. Repeat the same on the other side. We'll now need to install our frame bracket. We're going to start on our driver's side, so make sure you have the bracket with the L at the end of the part number. The R is going to be for your passenger side. So we're using the L. We'll line it up on our frame, and we'll need to drill out both the holes located in this bracket. There's one here and there's one here. We'll start by holding our bracket in place and using a 31/64 drill bit to mark the center of each hole. Once that one's been marked, we'll go ahead and drill that one out so we can install some of the hardware to help hold our bracket up there as a pilot for our other hole. You can use like a 1/4 inch or something about that size. Once you've drilled out your pilot hole, we're going to step it up to a 17/32 size. We'll now take our bracket, put it in place, slide our hardware down through the hole that we just drilled. We're using the shorter bolts in the kit. We can then snug this down with a 19mm socket and wrench. That'll hold it in place so you can drill your next hole located right here. We're going to drill this size out to a 17/32, just like the other one. Now you can use the same hardware you used for the upper bolt and install that in the lower hole. Thread the nut on the other side and tighten it down with a 19mm socket and wrench. And now torque all of your hardware to the specifications in your instructions. And then you repeat that same process on the other side. We'll now use some of the green lubrication that comes with your kit and lubricate the bushings for our sway bar. We'll put it both on the inside as well as around the outside edge here where our bracket rides. You can then slide your bushing over your sway bar. We'll do the same with our other bushing. We'll take two of the small bolts, slide a washer onto each, and then we'll have two extra washers and two nuts that we'll be placing on the other side once we get our sway bar up. Now we'll lift our sway bar into position. We'll take our hardware, slide it from the back side in, making sure not to pinch the brake clamp, the brake caliper hose. And then we'll lift it up, have our bolt placed through the back side. We can rest it down on our bolt, slide on a flat washer, followed by a nut. Once you've got one started on each side, it'll hold itself into position, making it easier to install the remaining hardware. We'll use the same hardware on the lower bolt as well. And make sure you install both hardware on each side. We'll now prepare our sway bar end links. Use some of the green lubrication. We're going to smear it around the inside of each end of our end link. This will make it easier to install the bushings. You'll receive two different size bushings, a 1/2 inch and 7/16 inch ID diameter. The 1/2 inch will go on your sway bar side. So we're going to go ahead and pop those in our sway bar end link now. Make sure you line it up with the larger side. We're now ready to install our sway bar end link. As you can remember, you have two different size ends. You have one with a smaller and larger ID and OD. We're going to use the thicker washer spacer on the inside, up inside of our frame bracket. Slide in your end link at the top. Then we'll use the metric head bolt. You can tell it's metric because of the 8.8 rating instead of the dashes like on a standard grade bolt. Place on a flat washer. Slide it from the outside in through the end link. Then put on a flat washer and a lock nut. Now we'll take our lower end link, line it up with the hole on our sway bar, take the brass colored bolt, slide on a flat washer, slide it through your end link, from the outside in, place on a flat washer, and thread on the lock nut. You'll repeat the same process on the other side. Now tighten down all of your hardware using 19mm sockets and wrenches. Now torque all of your hardware to the specifications in your instructions. And now that we've got everything tightened and torqued, we're ready to lower down our vehicle and hit the road. And that completes our installation of Roadmaster's Rear Anti-Sway Bar on our 2012 Mercedes Sprinter 3500.